So Zahra, the refugee crisis has a revitalized interest in the more perennial question and as to what happens with Calais, the refugee camp. So please tell us, give us some information about this. Tell us how are things evolving during the last period. What are the prospects? We know the French government seems keen on closing the jungle. It's not exactly clear what they want to do afterwards. We know that the British government doesn't want to get involved, but what is the situation there, and what are the prospects for this refugee camp?
Well, the elements that you just mentioned are actually correct, because what the French government wants to do is actually to destroy the remaining part of the Calais, and we have received some information that actually some police force is actually being gathered around Calais. I think about 1,000 men have arrived. Police force have arrived now. We just don't know the exact date, and French lawyers are actually trying to do something on this front. However, it's very difficult for them to act at this stage because there is no decision, there is no formal order from the local authorities to actually start or declare the demolition of the remaining part of the camp.
Mm-hmm. And so the situation right now seems to be quite critical. What do you think are what do you think is going to happen? How do you think it will last? Do you think, and if it doesn't last, what is the prospect? How are these people going to be placed elsewhere, or is there some other solution that is not really explicitly articulated now by either the French or the British government, but they have it in mind?
Yeah, I think implicitly what they want is more or less to spread out the migrants and refugees through other fronts. They tried in the past, but most of the refugees actually didn't remain in the places where they were actually displaced within France. They just all came back to Calais because of the conditions they were put in. Families didn't get the support they were needed. They thought that their children would be sent to school, but actually this didn't happen. And they were sent in places when they had no contact with other refugees and similar communities. So for them, that wasn't something that they would envisage. And they preferred to return and remain in the circumstances they are living in Calais or Grand-Sainte. So I think basically, as you said, yeah, they are trying to spread the population, but it's just, we really don't know how this is going to happen, because again, it's a question of places available which are not at present. We're talking of a population between 6,000 official figures and 10,000 individuals in Calais only. We are not talking about Grand-Sainte. And at this stage, things are still very unclear, and I think they are maintained in that nature, very, on a grey scale, totally unclear, because I think the French government doesn't want people to react to that decision.
And what are the conditions that people are facing there nowadays? In the sense that I know that, for example, there was a school that was self-made. It was built by volunteers in the local communities and NGOs. Even religious venues. I think an Ethiopian church.
Yes.
But I'm not exactly sure to what extent all these installations are still active and in position to help people because of all this internal moving of the displacement of people in order to shorten the area covered by the so-called jungle. So can children go to schools? Is there how are living conditions right now in Calais?
In Calais, actually, I think the problem recently was the closing down of restaurants. Not so much of social and cultural places like religious places like the churches or the mosques that are there, and even the schools. I think they were more interested in closing down the restaurants because they were sort of they were causing, according to them, a sort of like illegal type of competition with local businesses. So that's exactly, which is really, I mean, because of the safety involved individuals, refugees and migrants, prefer to stay within the camp. Now in Grande-Sainte, I know there is a school that is functioning that we have seen, so kids definitely can go to school. And I don't think that the threats are the same, except that, again, the French government is trying to close down as well Grande-Sainte, but in the next maybe few months. But for now, the actuality really is on Calais, and closing down coming in the next few weeks.